Hi guys, good morning everyone. First of all, thank you for your patience. This chapter I will be knocking off in a span of 1 hour and we will cover the entire module okay in a really nice way that the past exam questions will also get covered and all your questions which will come in your exam will be from this particular video only. Okay, so now before I start, I want you all to confirm and like the video and put in the chat box that I'm audible and visible. One. Second is I have made a WhatsApp group. You can go ahead, join the WhatsApp group. All the links of the videos will always be available. Whenever we are taking live lectures, the links will be shared in our WhatsApp group. Okay, and before I start, let me also tell you that do like the video and share it among your friends, especially since I'm taking the lectures in English and many students requires lectures in English. It's your duty to reach that video to them and give a shout out to about us also to them that you can go ahead and study from here as well. Okay, now having said that, can we start with the chapter? Yes or no? Okay, just waiting for you all to put in the chat box excited for the particular chapter to start and knock it off. Yes or no? Quickly. So I have made my own notes, okay, especially for this chapter, considering it is not very well drafted from the module. Okay, however, if you don't have these notes, our students will get these notes who have enrolled with us in the app, so they don't have to worry. Others can also keep their modules open, simultaneously do the marking, because I've prepared my notes from the module only. Okay, so first of all, can you all hit the like button? Every single one of you all hit the like button before we start, because once we start we will complete the entire chapter. Okay, quickly. Chalo, let's begin with the chapter. Great. Lakshmi, thank you. He's excited. What about others? Let's start with the chapter. Okay. Hi, so we'll be starting with the setting up of business outside India and issues relating hereto. Now, this chapter is divided in two parts. The very first part is talking about ODI and FDI and the entire history of business being done outside India and foreign companies investing in India. So, first we will see the entire laws, how it came into force, and how we have this import export businesses entering into Indian companies having their businesses outside India. What are the laws structures in India is the first part of the lesson. The second part of the lesson is how can you set up a business outside India in different countries like Singapore, Australia, USA, Canada, etc. Okay, so let's begin with the chapter. First, it is about setting up a business outside India. Okay, so we should know what are the laws that will govern a Indian company when they want to set a business outside India. We know companies like Reliance, Asian Paints have not only Tata's not only have business outside India, they are even listed on New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so we will see how it is to be done in this session. So the very first they start off with pre 1991 era. Why? What happened in 1991 that it divided into how we have BC and after that, okay, before Jesus Christ and after that how we have like that. Similarly, they have kept one particular deadline which is your 1991. Can any one of me of you all tell what happened in 1991? So in 1991, the entire laws were changed and they introduced in India, they introduced something called as LPG. What did they introduce? something called as liberalization, privatization, and globalization. From here, they said that we will go global, and companies globally can also enter into India. And they liberalize, they simplify the laws relating to import, export, setting up business in India or outside India. That is why 1991 was the golden year for the Indian economy. It opened the gates for foreign investments to enter into India. Can you tell me few companies which have set up their businesses in India? Okay, they have made foreign investment in India. Now obviously hundreds of companies have come here, like your Google India, your PepsiCo India, your Tesla also wants to set up in India. So they are all free to come into India. And vice versa is also true. Vice versa means Indian companies are also eligible to set up businesses abroad. Okay, so Indian companies can also set up businesses abroad. For example, Tata's, they have a manufacturing plant in Europe. Okay, we have Reliance, they are listed on NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. Your Asian Paints, they are listed on New York Stock Exchange. So similarly, we are also entering into India, and others are also, we are investing outside India, they are investing into India. Now before we get into today's time, we are going to talk about pre 1991 era. Now, prior to 1991, now this is the sad era. Okay, what happened before 1991? Okay, exports were increasing. Okay, just around 1991, before that, exports were booming. Okay, and there was emphasis that, listen, there is a huge potential for Indian exporters, Indian businesses, where we are now manufacturers and exporters. We are manufacturers, exporters, and we are doing export promotion. The government was also saying, let's promote their products outside. So export promotion strategies. But there was one sad part, that there was restriction on outflow to conserve foreign exchange reserves. Means whenever we wanted to do exports, it is possible that we wanted to import and then export. Okay, so we know that Reliance Industries, okay, is a exporter of many goods. They are a exporter of many goods. Now to export, sometimes you require some kinds of raw materials which might not be that easily available, or that quality and price point in India. So we need to import as well. So they import the goods, they import raw materials, they make finished goods, and then export to developed countries like USA, Dubai, UAE, Middle East, etc. Now they could import goods from China, like one of the manufacturing hubs of the world. So now what is happening is, when we are importing from China, there is a possibility that we have to make payment to Chinese, the business partners. That time there will be a foreign currency outflow. If imagine I have bought from USA, I've imported goods from USA, so then I have to pay dollars abroad. So there used to be a foreign currency outflow which government never used to like. So they used to restrict it. They used to say that this much is the cap, you cannot you cannot allow so much currency to go outflow, so much foreign currency to be sent outside India, because of which business trade was hampered. So this was one of the problems, that there was a restriction on the cash outflow to conserve foreign exchange. Then they said that because of that, the entire India's growth was limited because of this particular rule. We needed to expand. Okay, India needed to expand. Need for expansion was there. Now when they are saying expansion means what? Does expansion only mean that Indian exporters are exporting goods and services? So business houses across industries realize that the expansion of growth of Indian company is necessary to increase their share in the global market. So we wanted that Indian companies, okay, expand and grow. Now to expand and grow, very simple. Are we only talking of selling goods? Now pay attention to this. This is very important. This is where the chapter uh, connection will come. First is, are we concerned with only exporting goods and services, or there can be something more to it? So obviously there is more to it, which is the topic of the day. That is also grow by expanding and acquiring assets abroad. Assets abroad. Sir, what is assets abroad? What is assets abroad? So assets mean what? What if we want to take over shares? What if we want to buy property abroad? We want to take over a company abroad. It is different from exporting, right? Even that kind of expansion is needed. That is what I'm saying. Not only by exporting the product, by acquiring assets abroad. Maybe it could be overseas companies shares, or it could be property abroad. And that is why we thought that we need to make a new law, and we need to amend the laws. Okay. When foreign companies come into India, what it is called? When a foreign company like Google has committed that they will set up a manufacturing plant in India, okay, or when we say that a company like Volkswagen, they have given a commitment. You could say a Mercedes, they have given a commitment that they will set up a manufacturing plant. So can I say it's a foreign company making an investment in India? So that is called as FDI. It has emerged, okay? And we had liberalized the law from 1991. So 1992 onwards, a lot of inflow of investment started to come. Many companies started coming up. Now, your foreign companies, now pay attention, foreign companies making investment in India. Okay, so let's say this is India. Now we remove the trade barriers. Okay, from 1991 onwards, we reduced the licensing cost. We made it really fast for them. We reduced the taxes, etc. So even non-tariff benefits were given. Non-tariff means non-monetary benefits like speeding up of licenses, faster approvals was given. So because of that, foreign companies found India very attractive. Okay, so they started setting up, because why? Because we have lower cost labor, low labor cost, low electricity cost as compared to what is there in their country, low cost of land and rent, as you go to see. So here if you book a 5 star, maybe the pricing might be this much. If you book a 5 star in USA, it would be 5 to 6 times more if you convert in rupees. Okay, so that is why they feel that why not set up in India, or plant in India. Now with they entering into India, obviously employment increases. Okay, employment goes up. They will mostly collab with Indian partners. With Indian partners, like we saw, Air Asia is a company, okay, which has clubbed with Tatas, or you have your Air Asia and Tata is clubbed with one more, that is Vistara. Okay, so one is a Singaporean airline which is clubbed with Indian company. The other one is a Malaysian Airlines which is clubbed with Indian company. So they will collab with Indian partners, where Indian partners will also have a lot of knowledge sharing and growth. Clear? So this is what they have written: emergence of India as a good foreign investment destination due to the lowering of the rates. Okay, and a lot of automatic approvals were given by RBI, that for this sector automatic approval. Today also, if we go to see, if any company wants to enter into India, most of the sectors are under automatic route. Automatic route means they don't require RBI approval. Very few sectors have been kept in approval route. Clear? The objective of opening up Indian investment overseas was to provide Indian markets to access the new and technologies, enhancing the global competitiveness and supporting the country's extra efforts as well. Okay. Now the reverse is also true. Now since we are telling foreign companies to come into India, even the reverse was true. They have opened up for India. So overseas, and now we have Indian companies. Now Indian companies who are there, okay, they are also saying that now we also have very good products. We also want to export out of India. We also want to invest in shares, make joint venture, make wholly subsidiaries, holding and wholly owned subsidiaries abroad, branches abroad. Even we want to do it. So same way as foreigners enter into India, it is called as FDI. When Indian party or Indian party, that is the Indian company, makes investment abroad, that is called as overseas direct investment. It's called as overseas direct investment. Concept clear? Yes or no? So when Reliance is making an investment abroad, it is called as overseas investment. Indian party has made a overseas investment. When a foreign company is making an investment here, it is your FDI. So I can say when FDI is when foreign company is entering into India, and ODI is when Indian company is going overseas. Yes or no? So let me give you an example of a overseas investment. Now I'll give you an example of FDI also and overseas direct investment as well. Okay, and that too practical example, real life case. When you saw Walmart bought the Indian company which is Flipkart. They bought over Flipkart. So Flipkart is an Indian company set up by Sachin and Binny Bansal. Well, Walmart bought over this. The Indian company, they bought the shares. They made an investment in India. That is a case of FDI. Now I'll give you a example for ODI. Now what happens is Reliance Industries, when there was marriage of this his daughter, he bought, and she had she was expecting a first baby. So if you are a billionaire and the world's richest man, okay, Asia's richest man, and your daughter is expecting the first child, wouldn't you want to give them toys and gifts? He gifted her Hamleys, the entire toy company he bought over. So Reliance bought a Hamleys, a toy company. Entire toy company was bought and given a gift. Okay, I mean, as a Reliance, it came under the Reliance thing, and this was a UK company. Okay, mostly I feel it's a international company from UK. Concept clear? Yes or no? Is the concept clear? Similarly, when you go to see Tata's, Reliance and Tata example, I'll give you. Tata Tea, when they went abroad, okay, they went abroad to UK and they bought over Tetley. Tetley was bought over, it was completely a UK brand. Tata's bought Tetley. This is also a case of overseas direct investment where an Indian company is making an investment in shares, property abroad. Is the concept clear? Yes or no? Concept clear? Yes or no? Now all this obviously in FDI, ODI, Government of India has made laws. The primary law applicable to all this is FEMA Act 1999. Now what is FEMA Act? Let's understand. whenever this is India, okay, this is India and this is overseas. This is overseas. So whenever money is coming in India or money is going out of India, can I say that foreign exchange will be foreign currency will be exchanged, foreign currency, or I'll just write a code word for it, forex. That is, foreign exchange will be done, foreign currency will be exchanged. Yes, moment that is done, the FEMA Act 1999 will apply. So when you're doing import export, FEMA Act will apply. When you're making ODI FDI, FEMA Act will apply. And FEMA Act has appointed a regulator, a special regulator here, which is RBI. So this is like a Lakshman Rekha. Okay, this is a Lakshman Rekha. Moment you cross that, you require RBI approval. Concept clear? Yes or no? Okay, you have to ask RBI or follow RBI norms. Now, before FEMA is a very good law, but before FEMA, there was something called as FERA. What it was called? FERA Act. Now, FERA Act was very stringent. Okay, they are now talking bad about FERA Act, unlike the earlier act, which focused on regulation. Okay, FERA was Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. It focused on regulation, where government was in between, always had to ask a lot of licenses was required. From shifting from FERA, now FERA Act is repealed and now we don't regulate all of this, we manage, which is a lesser government involvement. Okay, the FEMA Act introduced significant changes by relaxing the norms, policies to make investments abroad. Okay, now because of the FEMA Act and liberalization, now it is become a companies are now thinking that we don't only have to sell in India, how we can sell overseas or all over the India. Okay, so today when you make a product as a business owner, do you want to sell only in India, or now you would also want to see that, listen, if I'm making Pepsi, this drink, why not sell it to every person in the planet? Okay, if I'm making this pen, why should I sell only in India? Why isn't the world my audience? Every single person on the planet can be my target audience now. Why? Because the geographical barrier, regulatory barrier has now been removed, or I could say has been simplified. And pursuant to that, a lot of memorandums have been entered between countries. One is a Indo-Mauritius treaty, where India and Mauritius are saying that you become a partner, business partner, will make it much more easier to trade. Then another one is India UAE. They are also saying between India and UAE we made an agreement that, listen, we can have smooth trade between us. Similarly, India Australia treaties. Now all this has opened up and multiple agreements India has entered. Okay. Now we saw about they coming into India. Okay, now we are seeing of India's evolution of India's overseas investments. What is happening is, now we are going to see what progress has Indian companies done in making investments abroad, in buying companies from abroad. Imagine an Indian company has bought over a full company of foreign. It's a proud moment. We like overseas direct investment where Indian companies are there. Okay, we go to see examples like Tata. Okay, if I go to give you an example for Tata, there is multiple examples for Tatas. One, I will give you a very famous this, where again we bought over a company which is Ford, and under Ford there were two companies with a Jaguar and Land Rover. So what happened is, Tata was an Indian company. This is a foreign company. Tata's went away and bought a all for cash deal. So what is a all for cash deal? They paid full money and got 100% shares. of Jaguar and Land Rover. This is a classic example of overseas direct investment, where an Indian company has bought over a foreign company, has made an investment in the shares of a foreign company. Clear? Which was always the other way around. Every time an Indian company used to get acquired, Google used to come and acquire an Indian company. Now it is reverse, it has changed. Okay. Post liberalization and removal of the import barriers, reduction in the tariff has increased India's firms to be globally competitive. So today when you are working in any company or you are setting up a company, you will also see that how I can sell not only in India but also worldwide. Okay, overseas investment has become a key strategy for gaining access and global presence and fostering economic integration and contributing to foreign exchange. So today, if I made a software, I would also wanted to sell it in Dubai. I would want to sell it in Australia, any country which I was ready to buy. Now, both ways, when FDI is there, okay, FDI brings inflow in the India. So the positive effect is we have employment. Okay, we have better production in India now because foreign technology spillover will be there. So a foreign company which has a very good technology will now join hands with Indian company. So we will learn a lot. It will increase the quality of the growth. Clear? Whereas in ODI, they are just saying, but however, it is a good concept, but still, ODI, what are they saying? That money is flowing out of India. Yes. So employment will be generated out of India. Efficiency will be done out of India. Technology, now we will be the buyer company, so we will be sharing with the foreigner. So that is seeing an inverse effect with there as well. Okay. So just like when a foreign company is going to give us the benefits, when we go abroad, we will give them the benefits. Okay. However, both are good concepts depending on case to case basis. Government is not going to tell you what to do. It has left to the business owner to decide what is good for him, whether he should partner by getting a foreign partner or whether he should go abroad or whether he should do both. Tata's is a classic example where they have done FDI also and they have done ODI also. FDI they have done in airline industry where I have told you Air Asia. Okay, and your ODI, overseas direct investment, I've told you they have bought Jaguar and Land Rover from Ford. And also if you see, there was even Tata's bought another huge steel company. I don't think you would know. It is Chorus. If you just search Tata Chorus deal, you'll come to know it is one of the most successful deals where Tata could enter directly into the European markets. Now I told you very simple, for both the cases, who is the regulator? Who is the regulator? RBI. RBI has issued a master direction, okay, where all those master directions has to be followed. This master direction is always available on the RBI website. They have also made a FAQ for clarity for both ODI and FDI. For ODI and FDI, RBI has issued master circulars. Okay, FEMA Act is there and they have made ODI rules as well. So we'll see what are the ODI rules. Now, first is just a little bit about FEMA Act. Very, very simple. Can you tell me, under the FEMA Act, who is the regulator of foreign exchange? Who is the regulator for foreign exchange? We just did. It is RBI. Now, which section has given the power? Which section has given the power to RBI? So, section 6 of FEMA Act has said that the RBI will be the regulatory authority. Okay, so all approvals are under RBI, all sanctionings are under RBI, all punishments are under RBI. They will take the call. Now, FEMA Act had made certain laws with respect to ODI, which was replaced by the new regulations. Okay, that is your FEMA Overseas Investment Rules 2022 and FEMA Overseas Investment Regulations 2002. Clear? So again, first, RBI is the regulator of foreign exchange in India. Concept clear? This is given under section 6 of FEMA Act 1. Second, FEMA Act has made two things. For RBI has said that, listen, if I want to do something, some approval, will I call the RBI governor and tell him, listen, I want to go, give me approval? They say, don't come to me. We have made our authorized dealers. You have to file forms and get approvals from RBI's licensed authorized dealers. So what if when I want to take approval, I don't file to RBI directly. There is RBI licensed dealers which are called as authorized dealers. They are authorized to deal in foreign exchange. They become the communication gap between companies and RBI. So I could say they are the intermediaries. What are they? Intermediaries between the companies and RBI. Concept clear? Now what RBI has done, third, RBI laws, okay, your FEMA laws for ODI. Now pay attention to this, okay? Now for your FDI and for your ODI laws. For FDI and ODI. FEMA laws for FDI and ODI. For FDI, the government has made something called as the master direction and FDI consolidated policy. Okay. So again, if someone will tell me, listen, there is a FDI, where should I look for the rules? Where should I look for what is the main law with respect to FDI? What is it? What will be your answer? Your answer will be FDI consolidated policy. Every year RBI issues this FDI consolidated policy with the changes. So they will say how much investment is allowed, which are the automatic routes, which are the approval routes, which are the prohibited routes. Everything, if you want to know what is the rules for FDI in India, you will open the FDI consolidated policy and read it up. Concept clear? Now, if it is ODI where an Indian party is investing abroad, then again FEMA ODI rules and regulations, okay, 2022 has been passed. ODI rules and regulations 2022 has been passed. So today if I want to know what is ODI, what are the rules, I will open up ODI rules and regulations 2022. Clear till here? This is what they are saying. Overseas investment 2022 and overseas investment regulations 2022. Okay. Now, key changes. So from the earlier FEMA laws for ODI, now the real ones are there, which is your overseas investment, which is there. So they have given a few changes. They have made it much better, much aligned with the international practices. It has given more clarity. They have elimination of approval requirement for, so earlier for all these things we required approval, now you don't require approval. So this is a good thing. Simplification of laws. So this they are saying that in the earlier ODI laws you need approval for all these things, now you don't require. Last is they also introduced late submission fee for delayed reporting. So earlier in the earlier ODI laws, Before 2022, if you used to make late, then there used to be criminal penalties. Now they have introduced that, listen here, if a person is making delayed filing, take late fees and finish it off. So very good for companies, because of genuine reason they couldn't pay, they will pay extra money and make the filings. And they've also introduced the concept of strategic sector. They've introduced the concept of strategic sector. So what do you mean by strategic sector? So they have defined it here, strategic sector. Now you tell me, is these sectors important for India? Yes or no? Are these sectors important for India? A yes or no? They have said that the sectors such as oil, gas, coal, minerals, submarine cable systems, and startups. Is this entire sector very strategically important for India's economy? Yes or no? Answer is yes. So what they have said that, listen, if money is coming into this these kind of things, we will give special benefits. So government can say for the strategic sector investment, they can make a little liberalized rules, a little easier rules. Okay, can be made, a little more benefits can be given to these sectors. So they have defined these sectors and then they will give benefits. Simple. Investment in these sectors are allowed in incorporated authority without entities without a limited liability structure. Normally they always say that whenever investment is coming or going, it has to be in a limited liability structure. Okay, now imagine whenever money is foreign investments coming or going, don't you think they will always say that keep a limited liability? Because unlimited liability, because such heavy amounts are going to be exchanged, it is better to have a limited liability structure like a company or a LLP. Okay, so for these things which are good for India, they are saying even if it is not in a limited liability structure, it is fine. Here also AD banks are permitted to authorize remittance provided the necessary approvals are needed. So they've not given much, but you should just know which are these sectors, and government will then slowly give benefits in the entire regulation. Okay, now overseas investment. Can you tell me, when did these overseas investment ODI regulations come into play? The earlier one, the erstwhile means what? The previous regulations. Okay, the erstwhile present ODI regulations excluded portfolio investment and this. So the earlier regulations, now they're talking about the previous regulations, a little bit bad ones, were excluded these things. The ODI rules now combine these concepts to define foreign commitment and this portfolio investment. Don't worry, I am going to explain you as per the current laws what is ODI. Then this is just a random point they have put, which will be covered later on. Okay, what is ODI you should know, what is OPI you should know, what is financial commitment you should know. So all the keywords, what is overseas investment, what is overseas portfolio investors, and you should know what is financial commitment, and you should know what is overseas direct investment. Is the concept clear? Yes or no? These are key terms that you should know, which we will do it in some time. So right now you don't have to stress on this at all. First, before we come to that, a few little points has been given that overseas direct investment is allowed in automatic route and approval route. That means if a Indian company wants to invest abroad, they will come in automatic route, that is without RBI approval, and some matters will require RBI approval. Okay, so either you have to, so depending on the business type, what kind of business you are doing, the ODI regulation will tell you that all these sectors are in automatic route, without RBI approval you can merge. But they will tell you that if it is in approval route, if you are in all these sectors, you require RBI approval. Clear? Let's move ahead. Now coming to the keywords. Remember I told you financial commitment, okay, OPI and ODI. I told you three keywords are there. Three keywords are there. What is, overseas investment? What is ODI? What is OPI? And what is financial commitment? 1, 2, 3, 4. Key 4 words are there which you should know. Okay, so now after I teach you in the next 10 minutes, all these 4 concepts will be crystal clear for you. Let's see. Let's start. Okay, so now pay attention. I'm explaining from my entire ODI regulations that I have made. First, okay, now pay attention. First thing, if a Indian company is investing in a US company, it is ODI or FDI? First tell me that quickly. Quickly, it is ODI or FDI? It is overseas direct investment, because the Indian party is making investment abroad. If a foreign company from Singapore is investing in an Indian company, okay, XYZ Private Limited, this will be called as FDI. They are making an investment in India. Clear? Now overseas, now pay attention to this. You can make a notes in your book. Right now this is a concept you need to remember. Now overseas investment abroad is divided in 2 categories. One is your overseas direct investment and overseas portfolio investment. So which is a wider term? Overseas investment is a wide term. It includes ODI and it includes OPI. What are these? We will see. But at least one clarity is there, that this is a wider term. It includes ODI and OPI. Now let's see what is ODI and OPI. Now pay attention to every word which is there. Okay. Overseas direct investment. What does it mean? So this is the definition. Now overseas direct investment means I am investing abroad. Who is investing abroad? Indian party is investing abroad. But where are they investing? They are buying at least 10 or more percent or more of the paid up equity capital of the foreign entity, listed foreign entity. So for example, if an Indian party is buying shares of Apple, which is listed in a foreign company, more than 10% or more, it is called as your ODI. Concept clear? One part. Second is if it is a unlisted company and I'm subscribing to the MOA of the foreign entity, so again no percentage is there. Even one share I buy of an unlisted company abroad, it is a ODI. And third category is if I get control, okay, in a listed company. Even if I have less than 10% of the equity capital, it will be treated as ODI. So again, first let's make a structure for it to understand. Now, your overseas investment, we are going to first see one part which is overseas direct investment. If I am investing in a listed company, listed company abroad. So when an Indian party is investing in a listed company abroad and it is getting 10% or more in the equity shares, okay, equity capital of the company, it is called as ODI, can fall into ODI. So example, we are Reliance buying shares of Apple, and now if you've seen one of the companies which is real in USA, one of the companies which has become very fast, it is growing, is Nvidia. You can even buy shares of Nvidia abroad. So when they buy 10% or more of a equity shares of a foreign listed company, it is considered as ODI. Now second is, if in the listed company I have less than 10%, I have less than 10% of a listed company, still it can be treated as ODI if control is acquired. Control is acquired. What is acquired? Control by any ways, by shareholding, by any kind of investment agreement, etc. So we've got a control by any other means, still it will be treated as ODI. This is one. The third is, if I am investing in an unlisted company abroad. So this is a unlisted company, and in that unlisted company, an Indian company is investing, an unlisted company abroad, and we subscribe to MOA, okay, and become the subscriber of the shares, or just invest even one share, because your unlisted company, no percentage has been given. So if I buy shares of unlisted companies, it is considered as ODI. If for listed company 10% or more, or getting control, it is considered as ODI. Is the concept clear? Yes. Very, very simple. Okay. So now you should know what is ODI. So if we just take a summary, a ODI is if I am buying 10% or more shares in a foreign listed company, if I am acquiring control in a foreign listed company, or if I am making an investment in the unlisted foreign company, it is considered to be ODI. Concept should be freezed in your mind. Next, sir, then what is OPI? And what is OPI? So basically anything which is not ODI is seen as OPI. So what could not come there? So maybe investing in foreign company shares, foreign listed company shares, which is less than 10%, and I don't even get controlling stake in that company. So less than 10% without control is considered to be OPI. So ODI is 10% or more in foreign listed company. Your OPI is less than 10% in the without control in the foreign listed company. Clear? So is the concept of ODI. So this is ODI. This is ODI. OPI. What is OPI? Overseas portfolio investment is basically simple. Only one category will come here. If I have less than 10%, okay, without control, without any major controlling stake in the listed foreign company, it is considered as OPI. So let's say if Reliance Industries had bought 5% of Nvidia, which is listed in foreign company, which is listed in USA, it is a ODI or OPI? Again, if Reliance, now you all will tell me, okay, I will not tell. Reliance is investing. Reliance Industry is investing. Now Reliance is a Indian company that is investing abroad. Okay, we know that it is overseas investment. They are investing abroad. 10%, 12% in Nvidia. It's a foreign listed company. What is it? ODI or OPI? and at the same time they also invest 5%, okay, without getting major control in the company, in Apple Limited. What is the first one and what is the second one? Third, there was a unlisted company. There was a unlisted company with which Reliance Industries set up a JV, and they subscribed to the MOA, unlisted company, foreign company, where Reliance subscribed to their MOA and became a shareholder of the company. First one, what it is? What is this first one? First one, what we will call it? Quickly. ODI or OPI. So this will be ODI. What will this be? 5% without control. OPI. Okay. An unlisted company, when you have invested and subscribed to the MOA, it will again be ODI. Okay. So can I say that Reliance Industries overseas investment, that is OI, is, you have to see their stake, ODI also they have to see, and OPI also you have to see. That is how you will come to know how much overseas investment they have made. So can I say ODI is a longer investment, bigger investment, and OPI is a smaller investment? Okay. Now OPI could just be, buy today, sell tomorrow also. Whereas where you have invested large stake is generally for long term. So overseas investment includes both ODI and OPI. So like that we will see, for a foreign company, for an Indian company, we'll say how much you've invested in ODI, how much you've invested into OPI. Both of them collectively will be called as overseas investment, because both here you have now overseas investment also, here also overseas investment. Concept clear? Yes or no? Then there came, okay, so then there is a concept of financial commitment. Okay, now what is a overseas investment? Now pay attention, I told you it was your ODI, OPI you have to add. Now what is a overseas investment? Means a financial commitment and a OPI by a person resident in India. Pay attention. So person resident in India, we are seeing of Reliance only investing abroad. So it may be noted, now pay attention what is the meaning of financial commitment, then we are sorted. Financial commitment means when a person resident in India, we've taken an example of Reliance Industries, means the total investment they have made in ODI, okay, debts other than OPI, so that this OPI is not counted, debts are counted, because we can even take loans, we can even take non-fund based guarantees will come. Your investment could be a direct loan I take abroad, or I tell someone that you take a loan, I am standing as a guarantee. So accordingly there is a investment, it will be treated abroad, because tomorrow if that guy doesn't pay, I will have to pay. So even taking a actual debt abroad is also covered, and giving a guarantee for a party abroad is also considered to be a financial commitment, extended to all foreign parties. So let's take a final understanding. So make a note of it in your books, that financial commitment includes ODI, okay, and it includes debt and non-debt based. So you have made a financial commitment of a loan, that I will give you a loan, or you take a loan, I will stand as your guarantor. So here it is, you're not given funds, you have given a guarantee. So that's a non-fund based investment will also come. ODI plus debt plus non-fund based. And third is a OPI, short type of investment that you have made. Collectively everything is called as overseas investment. So if I say overseas investment is the widest term, it includes ODI, it includes OPI, and it also includes the debt and guarantees. That a Indian party has made abroad. Concept clear? Concept clear, yes or no? So this is your final answer. What is overseas investment? It includes ODI, it includes OPI, and it includes debt and non-fund based provision that you have done, commitment that you have done. Non-fund based, this means you have not directly transferred funds. You have given a guarantee, a simple statement, but it is creating your financial liability. That is why we are going to include everything is called as overseas investment. Okay, so now let's move ahead quickly. Financial commitment, sir, we have done beautifully explained what was financial commitment. It includes, let's go back to see what it is if you've not written. So a financial commitment is your ODI and debt and non-debt. This is the definition. It does not include OPI. So financial commitment is the ODI and debt and guarantees. Okay. In financial commitment, it is only these two. It is not covering OPI. So excluding OPI. So we can say that overseas investment is your financial commitment plus OPI. So you write it down, you will not have difficulty. Okay. An Indian entity can lend, invest in the debt instrument. So they can invest, they can give loan, they can invest in the debt instruments, or also give non-fund based commitment. Non-fund based means we are not directly given funds. You take a loan, funds are given by someone else. I'll stand as a guarantor. Okay, provided, now what are conditions they have given? That Indian party is eligible to make overseas investment. They have already invested in the foreign entity and it has acquired control in the foreign entity before making such financial commitment. So these are just some conditions which is there when you can invest abroad. So we can invest abroad is, first of all, the Indian company should be eligible. Second, the Indian company has made some foreign investment before. And third, we have acquired control before making the financial commitment. So before making a financial commitment, so logically, what are they saying? That before giving loan, debt or guarantee, loan or guarantees, invest in the company, in the foreign company. So the condition to give a loan is, first you have to be an equity investor, foreign company. So the condition to give a loan is, first you should be a equity investor, and then we are giving that, listen, I am already invested in that company, I want to give a loan. Now very simple topic will get over really quickly. So eligibility, who all can go abroad? Only companies can go, or body corporate can also go, LLP can also go, and partnership firms can also invest abroad. Simple. Indian entity means what? So they used to say Indian party. The word that they use, they've replaced the Indian party with the word Indian entity. So Indian entity covers everybody. Now concept of foreign entity. Now foreign entity could mean which is incorporated abroad, could be a joint venture or my wholly owned subsidiary also. They include wholly owned subsidiaries also. For example, if Tata is here, Tata can make a company abroad. So that will be considered to be a foreign company because it's my wholly owned subsidiary abroad. Okay. But one condition is there, it should be with limited liability. Okay. With limited liability. Can anyone tell me why limited liability is government is forcing? When a Indian is investing abroad, we are saying that, listen, invest in business structures that have limited liability. Now you have to tell me why they are telling Indian parties like this. Is it good or bad? Obviously it is good, because what is happening is, tomorrow if the company goes into loss, then the liability is unlimited, they will come to your India and sell your personal assets. Don't do that. It will spoil the name of Indians also. So keep a limited liability structure. Non-applicability of the rules. So they have given you, this does not apply. You can just read it up to a certain institutions. Not very important. Then prohibition on overseas investment. Now we cannot invest in negative sector, prohibited sector like real estate, gambling, anything which is linked to a rupee. Okay, we cannot invest in. First of all, can I invest abroad to buy property? Real estate activity? Answer is no. No person resident in India can make a ODI in a foreign entity in the following activities. In the real estate sector, no. Government has disallowed. Okay. Second, gambling in any form is disallowed, and anything which is linked to so we are investing in foreign instruments which are linked to Indian rupee. So if we invest more, this rupee will get more volatile. Okay, so that don't do proper core business. Don't do all this derivative transactions where rupee is the thing, where rupee goes up and down, the gain in this will go up and down. So this kind of thing is not bringing any benefit to India, so they disallow it. Okay, investment in startups. Now when we are investing in startup, good or bad? When we are investing as an investor startup abroad, it is little scary, because most of the startups, they say that around 95 of the startups fail. So ODI in startup should be recognized by the host country, okay, and by the resident from their own own fund. So they should also, the promoter of that place should also invest. Okay, so we will invest, the Indian company will invest it from their own funds, and even the promoter should also invest. Financial commitment restrictions. Okay, maximum 2 subsidiaries they can have. Not that important. One we have done, automatic approval route. Okay, so automatic route does not require RBI approval, provided it is in bona fide business activity. You can set up SPVs also. SPVs are basically, I can set up a SPV abroad. So Tata Tea, when they wanted to buy Tetley, they created a SPV in UK and then acquired your Tetley. So what is a SPV? A SPV is a company set by the promoter company for a specific purpose. So you are just setting up a company there for a dedicated purpose. So it's a special purpose company that you have set. Okay, with multiple layers of subsidiary, all of this is allowed. Approval route. Now this is important. Approval route. Okay, now approval route requires prior approval of central government and RBI. Mostly I told you RBI. So normally all the approvals, if it is in approval route, you require RBI approval. Now CG government, CG approval is required only when you invest in a country which shares the boundaries with India, land borders, which shares the land borders with India. So for example, we don't have very good relations with our neighboring countries. Okay, neighboring countries, because they are trying to encroach on our land. So China, Pakistan, when you want to invest in such countries, then you require, apart from RBI approval, specific CG approval, where CG is Ministry of Home Affairs. They look into threats with respect to internal security of India. So like restricted geographical territories, Pakistan, etc. Or if you are giving a very high financial commitment, investment exceeding 1 billion in a financial year by an Indian company requires prior approval. So remember, this prior approval is needed if you are making a financial commitment of 1 billion US dollars, more than 1 billion US dollars abroad. Okay, so if I make 1 billion US dollars, huge amount, take RBI approval. Okay, key changes, we've done everything. Okay, 1 billion was the major change. Prior approval, this we had done, that prior approval was not needed for these. Prior approval is no longer needed for these things. Earlier it was needed. Now NOC. Okay, now understand what is this NOC requirement. Normally, if an Indian party has taken a loan, can they go abroad without asking their banks? So you will say, listen, if you have already taken a loan and you are a defaulter in India or under investigation in India, or you are a non-performing asset that is not paying your own loans and you're making investments abroad. So you go first, take a NOC from the bank. Okay, explain to the bank why you want to do and how it will help the business. So NOC, Rule 10 of OI rules state that India must obtain a NOC for making financial commitment if they fall under the following categories, whether they are an NPA, willful defaulter, or under a investigation under Serious Fraud Investigation Office or CBI or ED. Very, very simple. Deemed consent. Now, if the bank or the regulator fails to provide a NOC within 60 days, okay, the NOC shall be considered to be deemed as granted. This deemed consent may be as a point of concern for the lenders, okay, and this. So what happens is, if imagine the regulator is not approving, is not said anything, so law is saying, then we will say that you don't have an objection to make, it is deemed approval. So that is why it is putting a pressure on the particular regulators and the banks to inform that they are not giving. Okay, so first thing is deemed consent if no reply from bank or regulator within 60 days. So basically we'll look at it in a different way, that within 60 days they have to oppose if they don't want it to allow. So this will put a pressure on banks, that listen, we have a timer is on, okay, timer is on, that, or we can have, this hourglass is there, that 60 days time we have. In 60 days we have to reject it. If we don't reject it, it will be treated as automatically approved. Auto approved. So simple, if someone will ask me, can I go, and I'm quiet for 60 days, it means that I have nothing to say. I have no objection to make. So that is why banks and regulators should be, within 2 months, they should put their objections if they have any. Okay. Clarification on guarantees. Okay. ODI directions also clarify that if an Indian industry has already issued a Indian entity has already issued a guarantee before they were classified as an NPA, okay, then such guarantee will not be considered as a fresh financial commitment and will not require a NOC. See, when you require a NOC, when I am in default, okay, when I am in default, I require a financial commitment. Then I require a NOC. Now imagine when I was healthy, and that time before these laws were there and I was not an NPA, then I didn't require an NOC. It is my business, I can invest abroad. So I invested abroad when I was not falling under this category. So obviously then I don't require a NOC. Now, unfortunately, business went bad, and now I'm classified in NPA, willful defaulter, or under a investigation. Then, obviously, since it is a transaction was done earlier, NOC is not required now because transaction is already done. So later, when I fall in NPA category, again I don't require NOC because now what? Now already the money has been transferred. This is if I am now in NPA. Now I am a defaulter and I want to make a financial commitment, then I need a NOC. Now FDI policy. Now very simple. This chapter is not really about FDI because we are investing abroad. That is what the topic is. Here we are just simply they have said that what is FDI? Foreign entity or foreign entity making investment in India. It is called as FDI. Okay, very simplified definition I have given you. Here the entire department which will regulate the approvals when a foreign company wants to come into India, it is Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So this department's job is to promote industries and internal trade. Mostly FDI is allowed in most cases in 100% automatic cases. So we have liberalized the consolidated FDI policy where we said whoever wants to come can come. We have given 100% FDI in automatic route in many sectors and businesses. Very few businesses require approval. Very few businesses are in prohibited route. To see which is under prohibited and all of this, you have to see your consolidated FDI policy. Okay, read the press notes given by Department of Industrial Trade and press releases. This you have to keep yourself updated. That is it. Now reporting of overseas investment, very simple. Now when we have made a overseas investment, we also have to inform RBI regularly. Okay, now if you go to see, you are informing RBI regularly. Okay, the reporting aspect we will see. First, the person making a financial commitment will file a form called as Form FC. Okay, Form FC if you are making a financial commitment. This has to be done to RBI through the particular AD banker, through the AD banker. Yes, yes. So this is the full ODI regulation which is not there for you. This is my notes only, but this is the full ODI regulation which is not there for you all here. What we is there, I have put it in your, what is in the module, I have covered those. Okay. Okay. Now, simple little points. They have given you that overseas regulations have also said about reporting requirements of ODI, OPI and your financial commitment. In case if you've not filled the form on time, then you'll have to pay a late submission fee, which could be 100% of the amount involved. So the penalty late fees is very high. It could be 100% of the amount. Now reporting of financial commitment, I told you Form FC. It will be reported in Form FC at the time of making the outward remittance. When I'm sending the money abroad, I have to file Form FC. Disinvestment. Sir, what do you mean by disinvestment? I know. What is disinvestment? Can you tell me? What is disinvestment? So when I have invested, I have bought the shares. When I sell the shares, it is called as disinvestment. So this is about a sale of shares. Sale of shares is a disinvestment and I get the money. So I have to report it within 30 days of receiving the investment proceeds. So moment I receive the money, 30 days within that I have to inform the government. If there is any company that I have invested has been merged, taken over, I have to report the restructuring that has happened in that company within 30 days. Overseas portfolio investment, this is to be reported within 60 days from the end of the half year. Okay. Then annual performance report. a report must be submitted by when? By the end of the calendar year, that is 31st March or 31st December, that's the calendar year of each year for each foreign entity in which the equity capital is held, provided, imagine if there is a ODI, I have made a ODI. So within your 31st December, I have to inform about my holding, okay, about my holdings there, okay. A report will be sent because if you have bought, sold, etc., will be there. Now this is for ODI, if it qualifies as a ODI. So OPI is not needed. Annual returns of your foreign liabilities assets, Indian company that have ODI must submit this report, that is FLA form. What form it is called? FLA form to the Department of Statistics and Information Management. Department of Statistics and Information Management. That is how many liability, how many foreign liabilities and foreign assets you have. So I will say that listen, my assets and my liabilities. So this is with respect to foreign. So how many foreign shares I've invested in, foreign company shares I've invested in, and liability could be maybe any kind of loans, etc. That accordingly, whether I've taken or given loans, guarantees will come here. So accordingly, I have to tell that what is my foreign assets and what are my foreign liabilities. Clear? Now this is the second part of the chapter. So till here we have completed the entire history of foreign investments, how it was opened up for Indian and foreign parties, what is ODI, what is OPI, what is financial commitment, and for FDI, who is the regulator and the filing requirements as well. Now we'll start with the second part. Okay, so till here it is clear, yes or no? Everyone in the chat box, is it clear till here, yes or no? Before I start with the second part, I want a commitment from you all. Is it clear, yes or no, in the chat box? Quickly, I'm reading up the chat box. I want all of you all to put whether this is clear or no. Clear in the chat box, quickly. Then I'll start with the second part of the chapter and complete it. Reading up your chats, quickly type, we'll complete it, okay. So obviously for old and new syllabus the chapter is common, okay. So someone is asked whether old or it's, so obviously for both, okay. Quickly in the chat box. Great, I'm reading it. Sir, yes sir, well explained. Thank you Yatoshi. Yasothai, great. Then Niranjana, great, clear. Anga, great. Ekam Jor, great. Guru Prasad, great. Asha, thank you so much. Arun, great. Okay. Is this chapter important? Answer is, see, we have to do everything. You could say a 5-mark answer could come from here. A 5 to 8 marks can come from here. 2 4-mark questions, or you could say 2 5 marks, but this is the maximum weightage of this chapter. Clear till here? So if you've not done it, it's all the more just sit with me. You know that in 1 hour time I'm completing the full chapter from the module, past exam question, and even what will come in your exam. Clear? Since we do everything. So now we'll just take a lunch break. We'll start in 15 minutes. The second half of the chapter we'll start in next 15 minutes after. So maybe by 1:15 we will start this chapter. This will get over much quicker. Clear? Great. So I'll see you all back after lunch. Very short lunch break. Huh? It's only 15 minutes, not too much time. Hi guys, am I audible to all of you all? Yes or no? In the chat box quickly, am I audible so we can start? Am I audible and visible? Yes or no? Just waiting for you all to respond so I can start. Okay, so now this part will get over in 15 minutes. Okay, 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that. And your full chapter is done. Okay, great. Lakshmi, Asha, great. What about others? Audible? Shakti, great. Diana, great. Vishnu, Ninaranjana, great. Ekam Jot, great. Okay, chalo, let's start. And just I request all of you all just take 1 minute of yours, take the share button of this video or this link, whichever, and just share it in your study circle group. This much I just want I'm requesting you all just do that. It's a kind of a commitment that I want from you, that you will share it among your friends. It feels good to reach out to more people, to help out more people. Okay, just like you are benefiting from the lectures, I want more people to benefit. Okay, so just one request is there. The link with which you have joined, okay, the WhatsApp group, just share it with your friends among your friend circles, and always give a shout out as well. Okay, that is my request, and I hope I get this commitment. Clear? Let's start. I'm not asking too much. This much I can ask you all at least. Clear? Agna, great. Anaga, great. Okay, great. Arun, let's start. Now we'll start with the second part of the chapter. The second part starts with saying that while moving or shifting your business abroad, while taking a step to the global territories from India, now you want to expand your business abroad. So now which country would you like to go to, and which area you would like to go to? So this is about choosing a location. What are you choosing? A location outside India. Now, everyone knows that location is extremely important for any business. So, what all factors you will look which will ensure you growth in that particular region? So, the key issues or factors that you will consider while choosing a business location, one is the area in which you go. It should be having good infrastructure, good supply chain, raw material suppliers should be available, all the dealers should be there. It has proper access facilities, so that your transportation system is there. If you are into the seafood business, you would want a cold storage, so all of that should be done. Next, you would also be want to be located where there are talented people can easily access it. If it is very remote, though you will get land at a good rate, but you will not be able to attract the talent that you are looking for. That is a skilled labor force you will not be able to get. Second, you would also assess that you are not in a zone which is very having risk of volcanoes, or maybe a kind of droughts, or has water supply issues, earthquakes, tsunamis, etc. So these kinds cause a disruption, especially in Japan. If you go to see, it is a very earthquake prone area, so where you go is very very important. Next, if we see economic aspect, now this was about the place. Now the economic aspect is the ease of doing business. Now the World Bank, okay, the World Bank has issued certain criteria and has ranked various countries on basis of the ease of doing business, how fast you get licenses, how fast you get loans, how much time does it take in the court to get a judgment. So that is all called as ease of doing business. You will look into that. Cost of setting up the business, cost of doing the business. right from electricity cost till the rental cost to the cost of employees, all of that will be assessed. Labor laws, how it is there. Now if you go to see, in India the labor laws are favoring laborers. Okay, it is more labor centric, whereas in advanced countries they are more towards the corporate centric. Like Dubai is more company centric and not labor centric. They are like, if the business survives, everybody survives, but if the business dies, nobody has a job. So therefore it's very important to give that business that kind of suitability. Taxation, so you would look where you would want to go in a country where there is less tax. For example, Dubai has zero personal income tax, zero corporate tax. So companies prefer to set up there. Incentives given by the government, etc. is there. Okay, sometimes financial benefits are given by governments. The political aspect, very very important. You will see that if we are going into any other country, where how is the political scenario between us and that country, because that will dictate the market perceptions. Second is stability. You would not want to go in a country which has a lot of rapidly changing laws, because in a rapidly changing regulatory framework you cannot do business, because your all your budgeting will not be able to be done. You look at the international relations with the neighboring countries, how it is, and the overall laws that are applicable to that country. Then the social aspects, you will look as per the commercial relationships, the social, the people, how are they, how do they influence, what is the culture, how friendly are they, and whether they are expat friendly. Okay, so when we go into that country, we are foreigners, so how friendly they are towards us. Similarly, foreigners are coming here to do business, we have to be friendly towards them, so that they feel that India is a very good environment, business environment. How fast is the intellectual property and the technological advancement in that region, and how fast do they give you protection in that region. So registration of trademark, copyrights, patents will come out here. Infrastructure and communication. Okay, so how is the infrastructure, power, telecommunication, etc. So these are the factors that we will look while selecting a place. So very simple: choosing a location, the geographical factors, the economic factors, the political factors, and the social and technological factors that they have given. So it's a very simple little answer that can be asked. Now, what I have done for the balance part of the chapter, they have given you multiple countries: Australia, Canada, Hong Kong, USA, and they've given you different countries, and they are saying that if we are entering into their country, how is it? What is the law applicable, etc. So I have prepared a common answer. That common answer you can fit in any particular for any other country. For any country you can fit it. So I'll tell you also how I have done. I've prepared the full answer, and you have to just switch the company's name. So we'll see how it is. So a common answer, this is the strategy that you should also do. Prepare a common answer for this particular part, and on basis of that you will be able to write. So anytime if they ask you what is the setting up of business in Australia, write a short note. So maximum a 5-mark answer can come, and that too a very open-ended question will come. So we just have to prepare a 1 or 2 side answer. That is it, done. So let's see what is the strategy and how to do it. So first, this is the common introduction. Any question that they will ask, you will write, because they'll ask, write the legal framework in Singapore. So you'll write the legal framework for business in Singapore, in Australia, in Canada. You just change the country name. You'll write introduction. Whichever country is known for its ease of doing business in India, prepared a common answer will fit in everywhere. The country's regulatory framework is highly conducive to starting new ventures. So you will say that that country is very conducive to setting new ventures. Okay, because all the countries that they have given are all AAA rated countries. So actually they have got very good ratings for ease of doing business and setting up new businesses, and they have clear and supportive rules for taxation and corporate structuring. So you write this in the very start as your starting of your answer. It will create a very strong impression. It is renowned for its robust economy and business friendly climate. It is a global hub for entrepreneurs and businesses. It offers a stable economic climate and a straightforward business incorporation process, which is attractive to both domestic and international entrepreneurs. So we are saying it's a global hub. It has a straightforward incorporation process. The business registration is handled by the company registry in the region, and it's known for its efficiency in setting up business. Now, how we have ROC? Here you use the word company registry, where registration of companies are done, and whatever ROC does internationally, it is called as companies registry. Now, once you've written the introduction, which is common, then you will write the key regulation. You'll write what? The key regulation. So imagine for a 5 mark you're starting so beautifully. Now you'll write the heading key regulation. The key regulations and law mentioned below are primary legislation that outlines the incorporation, running and dissolution of the company in Australia, Canada, whichever it is there. So the key regulation you say is mentioned below, which I will show you what is to be done. It includes comprehensive rules on directors' responsibilities, shareholders' rights and financial reporting. It details the process of incorporation, responsibility of company officers and public disclosure requirements. Now, pay attention. When you're writing about the regulation, how we have Companies Act, they are asking which Companies Act is there in Canada, Australia, China, in Hong Kong, etc. So right now you have to just write this introduction, key regulations in, and when you know a Companies Act of any country, we'll talk about directors' role, shareholders' rights, public disclosures, incorporation, all of that will be covered. So this also you will write as it is, just write the country name. Now this is important. This is what you have to write for each. If they now have written down are the legislative framework for each country. Okay, market is important. So now as we have Companies Act for 2013 is for India. Now if they've asked you for Australia, etc. So we need to know their Companies Act. So this much you have to learn specifically to that country. For example, if they've asked for New Zealand, and you'll write that the New Zealand Companies Act 1993 governs the provision. So this variation you will have to just do. For Singapore, it is Companies Act 1967 and Code of Corporate Governance 2018, which covers the regulatory framework for companies. If they ask of Hong Kong, then in Hong Kong there is a Companies Ordinance Chapter 622 2012 which is applicable. It is the Companies Act of Hong Kong. If they ask for UK, in UK there is Companies Act 2006 read with UK Corporate Governance Code 2018. The law for USA is, so many laws are there. Sarbanes-Oxley Act 2002, like your Companies Act 2013 is for India, Sarbanes-Oxley Act is for US. Then the New York Stock Exchange, Corporate Governance Standards, the Limited Liability Company Law, Business Corporation Law enacted in 1963. So this, each country's company law you need to know. If they ask for Australia, then we'll make that the key regulation is Corporation Act 2011 read with corporate governance principles and recommendation. If you don't remember corporate governance, you can just write corporate governance principles and recommendation. Don't write the year, but for the act you need to write. For South Africa, it is King 4 Report 2016 and UK Stewardship Code 2020. And for Canada, you will write Canada Business Corporation Act, that is CBCA 1975. So once you know this, okay, once you know this common thing, you can build any answer with the introduction, key legislation, write the specific regulation, and then the one question they will ask that what is the ease of doing business, what advancement they have done. Okay, so then the next heading will come, which is again common for all. Ease of doing business. Okay, index created by World Bank. So it is used by 190 countries. Ease of business banking is, they have quantified in order, sequential order. Number one is the company which has the best ease of doing business, and so on. So then they will say the ease of being business ranking for the company that they have done, a lot of progress in 10. How many factors they have given you in ease of doing business? 10 factors. So any of the few factors you can take and write. Now, comprehensive areas of this. So this is also common answer. It evaluates the countries across 10 regions. One is for starting business. So you'll write that whichever country is there, it offers a straightforward process for starting a business at a reasonable cost. Next, you will write dealing with corporation construction permit. So if it is a real estate company, they want to get in construction permit. So the obtaining construction permit is efficient and involves a clear process and at a manageable cost, and it reflects the country's supportive environment for development. Electricity, generating electricity. So securing electricity connection is streamlined. It involves very few processes, okay, and it is done at a competitive cost. So it is very smooth and it is very cost effective. Registration of property. So if you want to buy a company or you want to buy a property, again it is, the process is very efficient, requires few steps, and it can be done in little time with moderate cost. So always is the same point. Getting credit, if getting loan, so again it has a strong legal framework for supporting the rights of borrowers and lenders. So they have a very good credit system and clear laws with respect to insolvency, credit information, credit accessibility. Protecting minority interests. So again, the country protects its minority shareholders by the Companies Act. Taxes. So it has a simplified taxes and they have efficient payment methods to pay the tax, which streamline the tax compliance. Trading across borders. That means if from that country, when you want to go to other country and exports, so how is the import export laws there? How is the customs law? So the exporting and importing processes are optimized to minimize cost and time. And there is smoother international trade operation. Then comes enforcing contract. Tomorrow if there is a breach of contract, so we'll write commercial disputes are resolved effectively in minimal time and minimal cost of litigation. Resolving insolvency, it is quick and cost effective, and it can be you can quickly recover your money and maximize the recovery framework due to the robust and effective bankruptcy framework in that country. Clear? So this, if they write, you write a short note about the ease of doing business in XYZ place. We'll write the introduction, we'll write the key law, and then you'll write the ease of doing business provision. Okay, few points you can write. Now last part, so they can ask you a common answer. You just have to build it according to the question from all this. Now the third normal thing is they'll give a guide of setting up a business in that country. So this they can ask you. Okay, setting up a business in Australia, write a short note. So you'll write the introduction, you'll write the key legislation. If they're not asked about ease of business, a short note on ease of business you can write, and then you'll write setting up of a business, how to set up a business in Australia. Once you've written the key legislation, then it is done. Then the common answer you can build. Now how you'll build a common answer, just understand. They are talking of Companies Act. So in Companies Act, what all things will be mentioned? That's how you will set up a business in any place. So setting up a business in India or any place has the same process. So what it is there, let's see. Setting up a business. So first you will write choosing correct business structure. Okay. Correct business structure. So whether you want to form appropriate legal structure, whether you want to form a sole proprietor, partnership, corporation, that is the first thing that you have to decide. So if you want to set up a company in any place, you'll choose a suitable business structure which is tax efficient and according to your needs. Then when you've chosen that I will set up a company, then the first thing that you need to do is reserve the name and apply for name reservation with the company registry. Also, at the same time, you can apply for trademark registration and verification, whether that name is available to be put it as a trademark in your name and nobody else is using. After that, now with respect to the name, then you will make up your websites, domain name will be bought to create an online presence. Then comes types of company. Now various types, like how we have private and public, even abroad in every country there is private and public company. Now whenever you set up the company, common documents are there, incorporation documents such as MOA and AOA should be filed, which will be legally binding on all the company shareholders and its directors and creditors. On successful incorporation of the company in that country, you will get a certificate of incorporation and a CIN number, certificate identification number, which is a proof that your company has been legally set up. Then after incorporation, right, from which structure to the name, that is done. Then the next term talks about filings and having the right people in the right place. So obtain and file consent and legal forms from directors, shareholders, okay, agreements, and check with the regulatory standards. So obtain and file required consent. So first thing is you have to file consent of directors, etc., to be appointed in the company. So in a private company there are minimum 2 directors, in a public company there are minimum 7 directors. So you have to appoint the minimum number of directors and get their consent. Then once you have appointed the key people in the company, then you will do the banking setup, open the bank account in that country, okay, and arrange for necessary insurances to comply with the local laws and protect the business from potential liabilities. Now what kind of insurances are there? Okay, one is a KMP, key managerial person insurance. Second, you could say, is a employee insurance for any injury, etc. So these kind of insurances you need to take. Then comes when you're employing people, the employer needs to do the employees registration, setting up of the employee benefits under the labor laws of that country. So apply for necessary tax registration, just like we have GST or VAT. There also they can call it GST or VAT, and register the employer-employee relationship as per the labor laws. Clear? So then you can have their labor laws in place. Then comes licenses and permits. You have to get the industry licenses after you've set up the people, the employees. Then you'll have to get a business license. Now if it is a food business, you'll have to get a food license. If it is a manufacturing company, you'll have to get a manufacturing license. That is why they've said a banking company, you will get a banking license. Clear? So industry specific licenses will have to be taken. Then talking about intellectual property. So in that country you have to immediately go and register your trademarks, intellectual property rights, okay, so that you are protected under the intellectual property laws. Compliance reporting. Adhere to the annual filings, okay, including financial reports, tax filings, changes in the business reports. The continuous compliances need to be done. So this, whenever they ask you any question about a specific country, you will write the introduction. Now pay attention. You will write the introduction. Okay, maximum question that can come is for max 5 marks. That too, it is very rare, but still we prepare a common answer. Otherwise, it will get very difficult to remember everything. So this is the strategy. You write the introduction for all the countries, whichever they come. Then you write the key so you will first write the introduction. Whatever be the question, this will be your introduction. Whatever be the question, the key regulation you will have to write as per this you will write, and you will write the key regulation, exact regulation which is there. Okay, the legislative framework you'll write of that country, which if New Zealand you'll write like this. And then either they will ask you about ease of doing business ranking, so that you will write, or they will ask you setting up of a business. So you make a comment, build a common answer. I've given you all the points. These notes are more than enough to answer every question that is asked from this chapter. With this, I have completed the entire chapter, okay, with a very strategic way that reduces your stress and still you get maximum marks. With this, I am done with the chapter. Thank you. Clear till here? Okay. So the first thing is, remember that this chapter is not, this second part is not very important. You just memorize what I've told you with the headings. You can build out of 5 marks. You can as it is get a 3 marks. Okay, that is it. You don't need to remember all of this and write as it is. It's just a common answer that has been framed. So instead of leaving the chapter altogether, because sometimes people just leave this chapter. Okay, that is why a strategy has been built where you can flip and see that I have covered almost everything from the module for each and single law also. Okay, thank you so much Vishnu Nath for saying crystal clear lecture. I am done with the chapter. You should also be done with the chapter. Take half an hour more time, finish the entire chapter, and that's it. Directly you should be ready for your examination. Past exam questions are also covered. Okay, so that is it. Please do inform your friends, like the video. After the video also, please comment that you like the videos. It just helps the video reach more people, create more engagement. GB Media, thank you. Lakshmi, yes, upcoming marathons will be there. Could you please cover 40 marks portion for labor law? Yes, don't worry. When I take the marathons, I cover the full portion. That will come closer to the exams. Right now, we are taking each chapter, going in depth and completing it. VP Gupta, thank you so much. Varun, thank you so much for your time and your patience. Go ahead, study hard. See you all next time. Tomorrow, I think Fatima ma'am is having a mentorship session. Okay, not tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think Fatima ma'am has a lecture on YouTube for CSEET. So then my lecture I'll tell you next which is there. Okay. So for these notes basically which is there for any students who enrolled with us, I am uploading it in the app itself. They will get it there. Okay. For others, they can just take a note from the module because this is prepared from the module only. Okay, so that is it. When my next lecture will be there, I will post it in the WhatsApp group, and your job is to be in the WhatsApp group and stay updated. That is it. I will see you all again next time with another chapter being knocked off from the module. Take care guys. Bye, and don't forget to share it with your friends as well. Bye. Chalo Labir.